It's your boys. We're back again.
Thought you were going to rhyme.
I was thinking about it, but I couldn't think fast enough.
If this was a rap battle, you just pissed your pants in front of a crowd.
Wouldn't be the first time I pissed my pants in front of a crowd. This is the Tennis Podcast. My name is Nick.
My name's Brandon.
This is the podcast where we guess each other's top 10 lists. If you missed last week's episode, we covered the most popular comic book characters ever, and a lot of people reached out to us, said they really liked it. So I want to thank everyone who has supported our show. I know.
What about thanking me?
I might call you people nerds. I might call you thumb twaddlers. Brandon calls you much, much, much worse.
I have never.
Behind closed doors.
Have never, would never.
Especially people from Memphis. But despite all that, we do appreciate your support, and we hope that you will share our podcast with your friends, with your wife, with your mistress, with your
enemies.
With your enemies. With your presidents. Share our podcast so the whole world can enjoy our unique brand of edutainment.
Right, edutainment.
Brandon.
Uh-huh.
I got a good list today.
Says you. I guess we'll find out.
Today, we're going to be looking at the...
Huh? Dinosaurs?
We're going to spend an hour of Brandon trying to guess what my top 10 list is.
Wait, what?
Go.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. We're talking about the deadliest animals on Earth.
The deadliest animals. I love animals and I love death, so I'm excited.
And you look like an animal.
And I look like death.
You eat like an animal. You smell like an animal.
What qualifies an animal as being deadly?
What I'm looking at here is a list from science101.com, and I'm going to tell you the vast bulk, and we like to talk about vast bulks on this show. The vast bulk of my research and notes comes to me from science101.com. They had an article in September 2018 from Sydney Baum-Haynes. I want to thank Sydney for her great article. And this is based on the average number of deaths per year per animal.
An average number of people that each animal kills?
Per year, yes.
Oh, no. Is it one individual animal or all of that type of animal?
I guess I don't see the difference.
Well, look, if it was an average of the individual bear, then we're implying that every bear kills an average.
Oh, no.
Okay,
we're saying the total number of people killed by the total population of this animal per year on average.
Okay.
Worldwide.
Does this include insects or little bitty tiny microscopic bugs?
Yes, but they are the minority. It's mostly what people think of as an animal.
Something you could fight.
Something you could fight, yeah.
Okay.
And not a Wolverine, though, which we learned last week you would do very poorly in a fight against Wolverine.
That's the Wolverine. I think an actual Wolverine is about like as tall as a small dog, and you could just stomp all over it.
Do people ever call him the Wolverine? It's always just Wolverine, right?
Yeah, Wolverine. They don't call him the Wolverine.
Yeah, and you know why they call him that?
Because that's his nickname?
Because he's got a hell of an ass.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you start by telling me what animals you think are safe bets to not be on the list. And by the way...
Gentle animals.
You're going to guess the top 10, but I also have the top 29 in front of me.
Okay. Butterflies?
Yeah, I'd say it's a safe bet.
No koalas, no rabbits.
Well, koalas, aren't they the ones who eat their mother's shit? We learned on a past episode.
They eat their nutritious fecal matter.
I'm still confused by that, because are we saying that all of the mother's shit is nutritious, or only certain flavors of the mother's shit is nutritious?
I bet they like take a vitamin or something, and then they have a special shit for that.
I'm going to guess that's not accurate.
They aren't on the list.
You're right. What do you think about an earthworm?
There's no worms. There might be other parasites.
What would it look like if an earthworm was attacking you?
I mean...
How long would it take for him to slink over to you?
Menacingly?
Yeah, first you have to be aware that he even wants to fight you.
You have to... First you have to be aware that he exists. If you happen to look down in the little direction of the ground that he's on, yeah, then you have to be able to determine whether this slither or this inching is just a normal, casual inching. If it's a hungry, excited, fearful inching, which would be normal for a worm's daily life, or if it's the inching of someone with murderous intent.
First, you have to not only notice that he's there, you have to then put a second thought to that, period. Because most people are going to look at this worm, if they even notice it, and then just keep going. This worm has to make his murderous intent so obvious that
first you got to figure out which end's the eyes and which end's the ass.
And you got to stop in your tracks. And he has to make it so obvious that he wants to fight you, and make you so furious that you want to fight it before a fight can actually begin. So, I mean, maybe this worm has slept with your wife, or
no, you're just sitting there. You're sitting there having a beverage outside or something, and you just hear like, "Oi, fuck you, mate." Like, is he a British earthworm? And that's when you know.
Yeah, and then you try to stomp on it, but he catches your foot and swings you around and kills you.
Exactly.
So yeah, earthworm's number 1.
I'm going to guess that cats, feline, like house cats, are not on the list. Although, as you well know, they are very dangerous.
I don't know what you're talking about. Cats are not on the list.
You have 2 accomplishments in your life.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is eating a trash can hot dog in the Atlanta airport, and the other one is getting bit by a kitty cat and your arm almost had to be amputated.
The first one that you said is not true. The second one is true. I got bit by a cat and it got infected, and it was very serious. Thank you. Me and the cat have since made up. Shout out to Athena, the kitty, listener of the show. And you're missing a third accomplishment, which is carrying a disgustingly bad sidekick host to a entertaining podcast. That's my greatest accomplishment.
I'm going to guess that dogs are not on the list, even though they can infect you with their bite.
Dogs are on the list.
Oh, shit. Well, then let me hear about dogs on the list.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just dive into the list then. I guess you're driving the show now. Okay. So dogs are on the list. They are number
9.
5.
Why?
What do you mean, why? They bite people.
But
let me tell you about dogs.
Okay. Explain to the folks at home dogs.
Dogs got 2 legs in the front, 2 in the back. They got a tail sometimes, most of the time. They're cute little dogs, and they kill about 25 to 35,000 people per year on average.
Holy shit. Where? Are they wild dogs?
Most of these deaths are actually due to rabies.
Yeah.
They may be our most loyal companions, but that companionship means more humans are exposed to dangerous dogs compared to other animals.
Companionship doesn't mean shit when you got rabies.
Most of these deaths occur in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. There are a lot of stray dogs that have not been vaccinated.
Yeah. I figured this had to be like, why? If you said 25 to 30 individual people in the U.S. die from dogs each year, I would have believed it. But as soon as you said 25,000 dogs, I imagined a herd of wild dogs, like, just pouncing on some poor child somewhere.
Oh, now I have some unpleasant imagery, you asshole.
The world is a really unpleasant place when it comes to wild dogs. Have you ever been bitten by a dog?
Yeah, of course. I worked at a veterinary office for like 5 or 6 years.
Oh, so it's no big deal to you.
Well, of course it's a big deal to get bit by a dog. I mean, a serious bite, of course. I've never been bit by a dog that I had to, like, go to the hospital. No.
Where is the most painful or sensitive place on your body where you've been bitten by a dog?
Where I personally have been bit by a dog?
Yeah.
I got bit on that little skin between your thumb and index finger.
Okay.
Which hurt like a son of a bitch.
I was hoping you'd say your balls.
Usually when dogs have my balls, there's no biting involved. Am I right?
Oh, Lord.
So that's a dog. And for more on dogs, you can either look at the dog in your house, or you can listen to episode 12 of our podcast, where we talked about the most popular breed of dogs.
When you first said that, when you said for more on dogs, I thought you were going to recommend a long-haired black and tan dachshund. Because that's what Chewy is.
Yeah, Brandon's dog, Chewy. Hashtag Chewy the dog.
Man, Chewy is a moron.
Think of the horror stories Chewy can share with his other dogs. Think about how many hot dogs his owner has shoveled into his mouth in his presence. Do you come home from the airport with just bags and bags, suitcases of airport hot dogs?
Leaving the airport with food? Nah, Chewy doesn't remember anything before, 15 minutes ago.
Well, he's cute, so we'll give him a pass.
Okay.
Dogs, number 5.
Dogs are killing mostly by rabies.
Yeah. I mean, they're still biting people.
Okay.
Or at least their saliva is being transferred to a person. I guess someone could be making out with a dog and get rabies, right?
Well, they shouldn't.
Do you get rabies just if you were to put a rabid dog's saliva into your mouth? Would you get rabies?
I think it's probably blood. Like if they bite you, maybe they got to get their spit in your blood.
Well, there's nothing I like talking more about than spit and blood.
Are lions in the top 10?
No.
Are they in the top 20, whatever you got?
They are number 21.
I knew it.
Yeah. So lions kill an average of 70 to 100 people worldwide each year, some of whom they eat.
Yes.
In fact, in 1898, up to 135 railroad workers in Kenya were killed by one pair of lions.
That's the movie, The Ghost in the Darkness.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
If you've never seen the movie The Ghost in the Darkness with Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer, The Ghost in the Darkness is a surprisingly really cool movie, and it's about these two bloodthirsty man-eating lions. And I just noticed last night that it is available on Amazon Prime. I almost watched it. I ended up with something else, but
you ended up with Killer Clowns from Outer Space for the 100th time.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, I highly recommend The Ghost in the Darkness.
Well, it sounds great, and I have some science behind why these lions were particularly interested in eating men.
These two from that movie?
Yeah. Or the two...
the two from history, right.
The two from history that the movie was based on. 2 lions killed up to 135 people, which is insane. After being killed, scientists found these lions, and they looked at their jaws and teeth and determined that their teeth were damaged, which likely kept them from hunting their normal prey. So they turned to eating men.
Oh.
That's all the information I have, and that comes from the science101.com article. So I don't understand why damaged teeth would make humans easier to hunt than normal prey, but that's what it says.
I don't either, but I mean, this is also 120 years ago. Who knows what kind of, quote unquote, scientist was studying them back then or making an analysis of it. It's a really cool story.
Well, just as these lions had damaged teeth, you have a damaged butt. From all the self-spanking you do.
Hippopotamus. The hippopotamus, I believe, is more deadly than the lion.
Give me a guess for the number.
Is it number 7?
12.
Oh.
The hippopotamus kills about 500 deaths per year.
Jesus Christ. I know that when you talk about like a population in the US of 350 million people, being able to say 500, it doesn't sound like a lot. Like 500 is like an entire school of children. It's a lot of people. 500
will sound even like a bigger number when you hear about the animals that the hippopotamus beat on this list. Animals that most people think are really deadly are less so than the hippo. So the hippo is a big, round, pinkish gray animal. Just think about Brandon. Yeah, that's a pretty decent depiction of a hippo. They get up to 6,000 pounds. They're actually very, very territorial. And so when humans get near them, they become territorial. Their name translates to river horses in Greek. The attacks are sometimes because humans appear to pose a threat to hippo calves. And by calves, I don't mean the back of their leg. I mean their babies. Wouldn't it be interesting if hippos were just very protective of their calves, like their leg calves?
Like people who don't want you to touch their feet? Hey, watch it!
This makes the hippo moms get very angry if you get near their babies. So they've trampled people, pulled them into lakes, tipped over boats, and even bitten heads off. Did you hear that? Hippo mommies will bite your fucking head off if you get near its baby.
Wait,
Brandon,
they go for the head?
They can.
Oh.
I mean, I gotta say, I know people say this all the time, but if you really could choose a way to die, getting your head bitten off by a hippo, I mean, people are going to remember that.
I would assume that there's like some crushing feeling that goes along with it that would be really upsetting in your last moments.
I think it's quick. Because I don't have it on hand, but I know that hippo, like the force of their jaws, are like some of the most powerful on Earth.
And they didn't even crack the top 10.
Don't even get near a hippo's calf, as in its leg, because it might bite your goddamn fucking head off. Hippos, they've lost a lot of habitat in recent years because humans are assholes. So they've been forced to live closer to humans than before, so their murder rates are rising. But don't feel too bad because humans have killed plenty of hippos, and George Washington, listener of the show, even had a set of false teeth made out of hippo teeth. The myth is that George Washington's teeth were made out of wood, but it's actually hippo teeth.
I think when you hear that, you immediately think that they are the size, like they just took a hippo's teeth and stuck them in a frame and jammed him in his mouth.
Right.
They're carved, so they're made out of... I've seen these teeth. I think I might have mentioned this in a previous podcast that...
Yeah.
You know how like false teeth, like the kind that you wind up, like the Joker uses, the little guys that like go tick, 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 on the ground?
Yeah.
How they have like a spring hinge? That's what George Washington's teeth had on both sides. There was a spring to hinge them open when he opened his mouth so that they would like stick to his gums. He had a fucking metal spring, like a rusty metal spring, 2 of them in the back of his mouth.
What's so bad about that? Don't you have 2 metal rusty springs in your mouth at all times? You don't?
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, it may have been as part of that exhibit, that he like would carry a handkerchief when he was wearing those teeth.
Oh, because he'd slobber a lot, right?
To dab at the rusty drool.
Imagine what is it, a handkerchief?
Uh-huh. A hanky.
In the 1700s. Imagine how grimy that thing was.
Everything and everybody was grimy up until about like 1952.
Mm-hmm.
I need to guess another animal that's actually in the top 10.
Yeah, so far you only have dogs at number 5.
How about venomous snake?
The snake is number 3.
I guess it doesn't have to be venomous if it's a constrictor, right?
I think death by constriction with snakes is very rare. For humans.
So people are dying by poisonous snake bite?
And by the way, if it wasn't clear, we should talk about that this death rate is referring to human deaths, right?
Oh, not the other animals that they kill?
Right.
Yeah.
The quote from science101.com says that many people estimate snakes kill about 50,000 people per year, but it might be as high as 200,000.
Wait, is that a Donald Trump quote? Many people estimate? Who are those people, and how are they estimating?
They're listeners of the 10ish podcast.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying snakes have legs. They just hide them all the time.
Remember that tweet from like a week or two ago where he was pretending to quote like
he was pretending to quote some government or high level official. It had the word chief in it, and chief was misspelled.
Right. But even if it's the greatest president in the history of the world, and everyone thinks so, even if this president had a 100% approval rating, you still don't go and tweet in your own words a compliment about yourself, even if it's true. It's just... We had a Twitter follower, I can't remember her handle, but her name's Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
She requested that we do a list on top 10 reasons Trump is ruining America.
I think we could probably scatter those reasons throughout every podcast. Those will be little Easter eggs from now on.
Yeah. And a little behind the scenes note here that we are actually very much Trump supporters. This is all just an act to appeal to our liberal listeners.
Yeah, so you'll hate listen.
Yeah. So snakes kill at least 50,000 people per year, might be much higher because of underreporting.
Uh-huh.
And the reason that number is because 50,000 reported deaths per year.
Oh, right.
People think it might be higher. So taipan snakes are probably the worst. The inland taipan could kill more than 100 people with a single bite because of how much venom is in its bite.
Why? I mean, why do you need that much? It's like when they say there's a spider that one bite of its venom can take down a buffalo. I'm like, well, why is a spider fighting a buffalo?
God works in mysterious ways, Brandon. Oh, it's the devil, remember?
Yeah, it was a demon that did it.
Yeah. Snakes are a much bigger problem in India. They're also a menace in Africa, Latin America.
Well, of course, that's in India is where those guys are constantly teasing them with like...
Now, how do you train a snake to do that? Like, you got to capture a snake and then incentivize it.
You don't train them. If you blow a little flute at a snake, it'll just do that.
But what is that?
They love music.
Ugh, like I said, God works in mysterious ways, Brandon. Snakes, so they're a problem in India. They're also a problem in Africa, Latin America, Pakistan, Afghanistan, East Asia, and Nebraska.
I would say
one of those is not right.
Snakes is a problem wherever they are.
I said 50,000 deaths per year, but there's only like a handful in the United States.
They're over like in Africa.
Yes. and India and Pakistan, Afghanistan, East Asia.
And Australia, maybe?
Australia is not mentioned, but I'm sure it's a bigger problem there than America.
They are right on the edge of like monsters. All the animals are in Australia are monster versions of animals.
They're the Godzillas of animals.
Like even their version of the rabbit is like 6 feet tall and could claw your face off.
What if we lived in a world where every animal and insect, every living thing besides a human, was Godzilla-sized?
Oh my God, okay.
No, it's that we're going to run with this. And then the human was the size of a normal human today. So relativity would tell you that we are the size of ants. Imagine a Godzilla-sized fucking tadpole.
Chewy.
Or Chewy, a dog. And then the humans are running around like ants, but our cities would just get destroyed every day.
Well, now we know how they feel.
Should we transition this into a discussion about peanut butter replacing water?
I should guess another animal before any of that happens.
We'll come back to that. We'll talk later about peanut butter replacing water in all facets of life. It's a very fascinating scenario that our listeners crave to be touched on more. But before we move to another animal, the snake, the most venomous snake is the inland taipan that I mentioned earlier, can kill 100 people with one bite. These snakes live in Australian deserts where humans are unlikely to come across them, but when it does feel threatened, it does bite several times in a row. Now,
God damn.
It has neurotoxins which cause victims to have slurred speech. And again, I'm assuming that's human victims. I don't think many, meerkat victims are going to have slurred speech.
But they live in Australia, so it'd be like if it bit a kangaroo and the kangaroo was like, holy fuck, I can talk. That'd be amazing.
But it would be slurred, so it'd feel bad.
Right.
You could also have seizures, inability to control your limbs. Now, does that mean your limbs go limp, or does that mean your limbs are just like doing the jazz hands at all times and you can't control it? Like
spaghetti arms?
Yeah.
No, I think you probably kind of seize up.
Yeah, if you're a bitch, maybe. Oh, and the bites also leads to internal bleeding from hemotoxins. But
oh my God.
You mentioned the India the snake dancing people?
Snake charmers.
Yeah, snake charmer. Thank you. Most of the time, people that get bit by this snake are from people that are handling the snake.
Yeah.
These snakes don't bite on their own. They're usually in someone's hands.
Yeah, someone's messing with them. Don't do that.
So yeah, that's snakes.
They're all deadly, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so is there any sort of winged animal on the top 10?
Yes. Plus dogs. Some dogs have wings.
Winged could be an insect. Let's talk about the hiney flu and malaria and all that shit. What about a mosquito?
Mosquito is number 2. They kill about 725,000 people per year by transmitting diseases like malaria, dengue fever, yellow fever, and encephalitis.
Yeah, like encephalitis, your head fills up with fluid and it's like you get like a high fever and you can cook your brain.
That doesn't sound fun. That disease and the others I listed kill about 725,000 people a year. Did you know there are 3,000 plus species of mosquitoes?
Completely unnecessary.
Right, yeah. God works in mysterious ways.
Not a fucking one of you is necessary. And I've thought about visiting Alaska at some point to see some of the national parks up there. But the stories I've heard about what the mosquitoes are like in the spring and summer there, that they are just clouds, just a thick fog of mosquito, makes me think it's probably just not worth it.
Do they travel in packs?
I don't know anything about bugs. I don't know if they kiss each other. I don't know if they go to sleep.
Well, you mentioned kissing. That's going to come back later. And you also mentioned going to Alaska. You wanted to visit Alaska, and you said it's for the national parks. Is the real reason that you just want an opportunity to be inside an airport to find a hot dog? If you can fly to Alaska, then you have a chance to be in an airport again. Unless you meant that you were just going to fly to Alaska, with your arms.
There's a Nathan's in the airport in Juneau that I can't miss out on.
That's hashtag hot dog Brandon.
It's not. Don't do it.
You can get your hashtag hot dog Brandon shirts and your Sidekick host t-shirt right now at tennispod.com/merch.
That was fucking smooth.
Thank you. Mosquitoes, they're mostly killing people in sub-Saharan Africa, Asia, and Latin America, but on top of the hundreds of thousands that die, millions more are suffering through those diseases I mentioned. And I found this interesting. This comes from that science101.com article. Some scientists are thinking about using gene editing to just get rid of all mosquitoes by introducing a mutation that makes females sterile.
Do it.
Isn't that interesting? I can't recall ever hearing of scientists getting together.
Planned extinction?
Yeah, willfully getting rid of an animal, but maybe that sets a dangerous precedent.
I mean, obviously, I think if this idea is taken seriously, they have to, do a study on the ecological effects.
A lot of bugs eat mosquitoes.
If they did a study and they said if we kill every mosquito in the world, within 5 years, the ecosystems dependent upon mosquitoes will bounce back, I would fall at my knees at my representative, begging them to vote for.
Don't you know that representatives just do the opposite of what you want?
They just do whatever the big mosquito lobby wants.
That's right.
Okay, well, now that mosquitoes are number 2.
Well, one more note that malaria is the main cause of death here.
Yeah.
And while the number of malaria victims have been halved in the last 15 years.
Well, that's awesome.
Through mosquito nets, insecticides, other things.
I think Bill Gates is part of that, isn't he? Doesn't he work on getting rid of malaria?
Yeah. So while the number of total victims, including those that don't die, have been halved, the number that do die from malaria has risen because funding for preventative measures has dried up and the disease has developed drug resistance.
Oh, good.
Not to mention mosquitoes are spreading further. Optimistic news on the mosquito front. Brought to you by the Tennis Podcast.
Optimistic for the mosquitoes.
Yeah, if you are a mosquito listener right now, then you are clapping your hands.
And also, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Unsubscribe from our show.
So I am kind of confused about what number 1 could be, because I thought mosquitoes would be the biggest killer. So I'm going to keep guessing animals, but just know that I am befuddled about what could be at the top right now.
Also befuddled as a general state of being for you, right?
Sharks.
Sharks are one of the most scary animals on Earth. People have a great fear of sharks, but it actually only kills 6 to 10 people per year on average. It's number 27.
So it almost didn't make the list.
Hippopotamus bites off more human heads than sharks kill in a year.
Ooh, horse.
Horse is number 22.
Now I'm starting to think about, this is animals being deadly to humans. So what kind of animals are we manhandling too often?
Yeah. What's like a horse then?
Moo. Yes, a cow.
If my 2-year-old was here, I would have just started him on a mooing marathon.
Moo, moo.
Cow's number 23.
Oh.
They kill 20 Americans each year.
And the rest of the world doesn't bother reporting it?
Well, there's some parts of the world that won't even kill cows.
Yeah, a cow could go and just start killing people and it would get away with it.
Most of the cow deaths are just cows falling on people.
How do they fall on them?
It doesn't mean like they just tip over. It could be like trying to get them out of a truck.
Oh, like during the act of a tipping?
Or just a strong man that is trying to lift a cow over his head, perhaps.
To prove something.
What do you think it'd be like if, you know how there's dogfighting and cockfighting, which we at the Tennis Podcast hate and don't agree with those, but...
I just found out they meant roosters.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if there was cow fighting. How boring of a fight would that be?
Well, they have bull fighting.
Yeah, but we're not talking bulls, we're talking cows. Do you know the difference between a bull and a cow, or are you...
Well, they're the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
Except the bull is a male that has horns.
And a different fucking word than the word cow.
Right, but they are both types of cow. They're both bovine.
Okay. Then let me be super clear for Brandon.
Like, you're talking dairy cows?
I'm talking dairy cows in a fight. I mean, it'd be really hard to make them fight.
I don't know how easy or difficult it is to piss like a dairy cow off. I'd assume you could still do it pretty easily. Like you just yank on their teat.
Speaking of yanking on teats.
Uh-oh.
Why don't you yank on the teat of my list and see if any correct answer milk spills out all over your face.
That
was good.
Yeah, I know. I'm completely derailed now.
You got sharks 27, cows 23, horse 22, lion 21, hippo 12, dog 5, and snakes 3, and mosquito 2.
Rat.
No rats. Which surprised me.
Are there any monkeys?
No monkeys. Monkeys would never harm a human.
I've seen a monkey shoot a gun.
Or there was that ape that tore off a woman's face, or bit off a woman's face,
He tore off her face and fingers.
Oh my God. Tore off her fingers?
I know. That's when you like
that seems worse than the face.
That seems like an incredible amount of strength.
Did she die?
No.
Oh my God.
She took herself to Oprah a few years later. I remember watching that episode. She would admit it too. She is difficult to look upon because she does not have much face left.
I gotta look it up.
That monkey was also on drugs too.
Was it?
He was like on opiates.
Oh my God, I see her face. Well, she's had some surgeries that make her look...
She's looking better now?
Well, I mean, you can tell she's had something done, but...
Oh, she looks quite a bit better now.
Yeah, she does. But there's a picture of her, I guess, before.
Yeah, and
it's rough.
God bless, that's some rough shit.
Yeah, her name is Carla Nash, and Carla is spelled Charla, Nash, if you want to see her. But anyway, yeah, monkeys, that ape was on drugs, so we won't hold it against him, maybe. I don't know the whole story there. But monkeys are our friends in general, right?
Yeah.
Remember Dunston from Dunston Checks In? He'd never hurt anybody, except the bad guys. Jason Alexander was in that movie.
Right after the credits rolled, that chimp just tore that kid to pieces.
Oh my God, tore him to pieces.
Monkey is not on the... No kind of ape or monkey is on the list.
No Dunston.
Let me think of sea things. You said there's no... A shark didn't make the top... Is there anything from the sea in the top 10? Oh, alligator or crocodile.
Alligator is number 29, kills 3 people a year.
Crocodile is probably higher because crocodile is in Africa where all the other crazy animals are eating people.
Crocodile's number 10.
Yes! Sorry, everybody has been eaten by crocodile.
Yeah, so everyone who had money down on crocodile being in the top 10, you just barely won here. It's number 10. The report says it's hard to find exact numbers because of underreporting, but it's estimated that crocodiles kill at least 1,000 people per year.
I only a few years ago figured out that alligator was in America. Alliteration, the way to remember that alligators are also in America natively, and that crocodiles are in Africa, which doesn't start with crocodile. But if you know where one is, then you know that crocodile's the...
But Africa also starts with A, just like America. So that seems very unhelpful.
Whatever, it worked for me. I was able to remember it that way. Alligator, Alabama. Because I'm sure there's some...
Okay, but they're also in Africa. Again, aren't crocodiles bigger and more badass?
I think so, yeah. They have a round snout. I think they're just bigger and stouter. Yeah, they're big.
Hell of an ass, too. They are quite deadly because they can easily live near humans without being noticed and then snap someone up very quickly. Most of these, and again, apologies to anyone whose family member has been killed by a crocodile.
Yeah, sorry. But it's kind of cool.
Yeah, you might want to stop listening. Most of these, but don't. Anyway, just keep listening anyway. And also tell us to your friends that they should listen to us. Tell us to your family members. Most of these attacks are in Africa, so crocodiles have earned the title of the most deadly African large animal. Here's a very important note. So everyone get out your note-taking pen and pad now.
Okay.
Some people, and this is from science101.com, quote, some people in Africa don't believe real crocodiles are doing these attacks. Instead, they believe that the crocodile corporates are made by witches or perhaps controlled by spirits, end quote. God works in mysterious ways, creating witches and spirits that control these crocodiles.
Again, that was a Donald Trump fact. Some people think. Some, I don't know. How many? Who are those people? What are their qualifications? Doesn't matter. There's some people. They're thinking something. What's the thing they're thinking? It's the thing that conveniently helps me.
I should note that Sydney Baum Haynes, who wrote this article, did source all of her shit in the footer of her article.
I said all facts from Donald Trump.
DonaldTrump.com.
A lot of people say crocodile's the most dangerous animal in America. You know what I say? They live in Africa.
So you're welcome.
Crocodile was interesting. Is elephant on the top 10?
Yeah. Do you think it's in the top 10? Because it ain't. It's number 13. Lucky number 13, elephant. They kill about 500 per year, which is right in line with the hippo, number 12.
Mm-hmm.
Elephant is the land hippo, right? Like the hippo, the most deaths are caused by a mother protecting her baby, not her leg calves, like the hippo, but her baby. The attacks are actually growing each year. becoming more common because their habitat is shrinking and they're forced to be around humans more often.
Yeah.
Some researchers think, another Donald Trump fact.
Some? I don't know. There's like 3 of them.
Some researchers think elephants are killing people because they have a form of PTSD and remember humans killed their family.
I don't know. I've seen some information that says, elephants do have good memories and they're pretty smart, but like...
I saw an elephant drinking its own piss with its trunk one time, so it can't be that smart. I really did, at the zoo.
At our zoo?
Yeah, and actually...
Well, the one we own and run?
Yeah, the one in my backyard. The Tulsa Zoo, I saw an elephant pissing. In the middle of the pissing, would take its trunk, scoop up urine, and bring it up to its mouth over and over. And then all the families were like, "Ah!"
I have been to the Tulsa Zoo once when there was a young chimp getting busy with like an older female chimp.
Now, can you be explicit on what you mean by getting busy? So there's no confusion.
Who's making love to her?
Now, when you say making love, can you be more specific?
Whoopee?
Got it. Proceed.
And then there's a family that walked in, and I guess they thought that the smaller monkey was hugging. They're like, look, they're cuddling. And then he turned around with his like little hard chimp wiener pointing at them, and they like, shrieked.
I love when families are surprised by natural animal events at a zoo, as if they don't expect that to happen at a zoo. These are nice, good animals. They don't have sexual relations with each other.
He had this just this angry red little pea shooter pointing at him, and I was like, how could you not realize that was, you don't hug with thrusts from your hips.
Speak for yourself. When me and my family members hug, we just push our hips toward each other.
Yikes.
Okay. About elephants, though, I mentioned some scientists believe that they kill people out of PTSD from revenge killing, basically, for those people killing their family. The aggression is being passed between family members of elephants, so people are turning to unconventional methods to keep wild elephants away. They've used chili powder and domestic elephants to deter large wild elephants from coming too close.
How are we going to keep all these elephants away? I don't know, just get an elephant to stand right here and be like, we already got one.
We already got an elephant handy right here. Can you imagine living somewhere where wild elephants is a thing? That just seems so foreign to me. Well, because it literally is foreign to me.
I mean, the craziest animals I see around here are like raccoons and geese.
And sidekick hosts. Give me another guess.
I'm not doing too good on this top 10.
No. Let me give you a hint. For the top 10, you have dogs, snakes, and crocodiles.
And mosquito.
And mosquito, right. For the most part, the remaining animals are all very small. Very small.
Oh, the fly? Does a fly kill people?
What kind of fly?
The tsetse fly.
The tsetse fly, spelled Tsetse fly.
Where is he?
He's number 7. He or she, Brandon, Jesus. He or she lives in rural Africa where it spreads sleeping sickness. How nice.
I think I got that.
Yeah, this disease causes you to crash in your recliner by 7 p.m. every night, snoring loudly with a newspaper opened over your lap.
I think I'm coming down with it.
Okay, so there are less than 5,000 cases reported each year, but the death count is rather uncertain. Plus, it's likely that more people get the disease than we know. Sleeping sickness can be cured, but some people just don't have access to the cure because where the fly lives. The good news, though, is that there are fewer and fewer cases each year. Did I say 5,000 cases earlier? I meant 50,000. 50,000 cases reported each year.
Sub-Saharan Africa, right?
Yeah.
It's a rough place. According to this list.
We have listeners in Africa. I'm not even kidding.
No, I mean, hey, if you are in Sub-Saharan Africa listening to this right now, congratulations. You are a fucking warrior.
Our podcast is worldwide, people.
Okay, so let me get back. So we got the fly, that little tsetse fly. Let me think of other small ones.
Titty fly.
Small, dangerous. Are there more bugs on here?
Bugs and bugs-ish.
Bugs-ish? Is that a spider?
Well, okay, let's talk about spiders. Spiders are number 25. On this list, the animal I fear most is the spider. I'd rather fight a spider than a snake, but the reason I fear spiders more than snakes is because spiders are much more common to be in your fucking house, in your shoes,
Mm-hmm.
We've talked a lot about spiders on this show, including in the last episode.
Yeah.
My thoughts are very clear on spiders. Fuck them. Fuck all of them. 7 people in the U.S. alone die from black widows and brown recluses alone. You know, you mentioned that every animal in Australia is Godzilla-sized.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that Australia is a scary place for spiders, and they do have the world's largest spider, the bird-eating spider. Can you imagine that? A fucking spider eating birds, goddamn. But in 2016, the first Australian in 37 years died from a spider bite. So there was a 37-year stretch where no one in Australia died from a spider.
I just assume that's because, I don't take that to mean that Australians were not getting bitten by spiders frequently. I just take that to mean the average Australian is pretty fucking tough.
Right. Or they just have access to plenty of medicine.
Oi, one of these little bitches just bit me again.
Yeah. Well, the deadliest spider in the world is the Brazilian wandering spider.
Wandering or wondering?
Wandering, like he wanders around. That implies to me that this guy is walking around, biting people left and right just to be an asshole.
Just looking for people to bite?
Yeah, that's all he does.
They're looking for Brazilians to bite.
When I say spider and I say snake, what's another animal that comes to mind kind of in that category?
Spiders, snakes, lizard?
No.
Spider, snake, scorpion.
Scorpion. What number do you think scorpion is?
A bug. A scorpion is kind of a bug. Scorpion number 8.
9.
Where are scorpions killing people?
So while there are around 2,000 different scorpion species, because, I mean, we got to have that many. I don't know. The ecological impact of not having 2,000 scorpion species, I imagine, has to be huge. So thank God for that.
Yeah, God forbid we don't have a shitload of the scariest, creepiest little things in the world.
Only about 25 species of scorpion, only 25, have venom that is potentially lethal to humans. Every year, these species kill over 3,200 people. However, most of these deaths are caused by just one species, the Brazilian yellow scorpion. It lives in South America and stings thousands of people per year.
I want to look it up.
Unfortunately, the anti-venom for the Brazilian yellow scorpion isn't totally effective and can sometimes cause lethal allergic reactions. Thank God.
Oh my God.
So imagine trying to be cured by this deadly scorpion and then dying from the medicine itself.
Holy hell. These guys look...
Is he big or small?
Small compared to me, but he's big for something I don't want crawling around me. And he has muscles. His tail has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 biceps in it, and he is flexing all of them.
Yeah, think of all the scorpion tail he's getting. You know, most animals have like one main weapon, teeth or a stinger.
This guy's covered, he's covered with shit.
This guy is a tank in the animal kingdom. He's got big ass claws.
Pinching, stinging, biting.
Does
scratching.
he bite too?
I don't know. I can't see his mouth. His mouth and his asshole look the same. Yeah, he's got little pinchers around his mouth too.
Well, when I was in middle school, I had a science teacher that had a pet scorpion in the classroom. I know this was mean of me to do, but I was in middle school, so give me a break. But me and others in the class would always try to get the scorpion to use his stinger.
Yeah.
Because he'd feed him crickets and shit. And he would never use the stinger. He'd just catch him with his claws. Sometimes he'd catch him out of midair. But he'd catch the crickets and eat them. He never had a reason to use his stinger. We would try to antagonize it to use its stinger. So we'd, put things in there, like we'd touch it with a pencil, or we'd drop like a toilet paper roll in there to try to spook him and sting it. And he never fucking would. So it kind of made me believe that the average scorpion is saving his stinger for only the most desperate situations.
Oh, like maybe, okay.
Because it doesn't make sense to me. I thought he'd be stinger happy, just stinging everything left and right. But he...
Fuck this. Fuck that.
I stopped short. He never used it once the entire school year that I saw.
That would be really disappointing. Scorpion is the ugly, angry little brother of the lobster.
Except we don't cook and eat them.
I guarantee someone is putting a scorpion in their mouth right now.
Yeah. I mentioned that most deaths come from the Brazilian yellow scorpion, but that's actually not the most venomous scorpion based on like venom potency. The death stalker scorpion lives in the Middle East, hunting at night for worms and centipedes, and research shows that less than 1/100th of 1 ounce of its venom could kill over 2 pounds worth of mice. I don't know how, it's such a specific statistic, but 2 pounds of mice from 1/100th of 1 ounce of death stalker scorpion venom.
Why? I mean, What is he fighting that he needs that much stuff? Why does he need to take down a buffalo?
Can't answer it for you. I don't understand. We're going to give a quick shout out to the Hold My Popcorn podcast. If you're a fan of the 10-ish podcast, you're going to love the Hold My Popcorn podcast. It's a show where they make fun of movies. They have self-labeled several village idiots that give their unqualified and often offensive opinions of all kinds of movies. That's the Hold My Popcorn podcast. I listened to a few of their episodes and was a big fan of it, so I hope you check them out.
It sounds like something I'd like.
Yeah, you would. Especially because you can't shut the hell up about movies ever, at all times.
Yikes.
Maybe you should be on their show instead.
Yeah.
Why don't I go through everything above the top 10 right now?
Okay.
We got 29 alligator, 28 wolves, 27 sharks, 26 bears, 25 spiders, 24 ants. Ants kill 30 people per year, most from the bulldog ant.
Oh, I've heard of that little guy.
Bulldog ant. Bulldog ant, I'm looking at a picture.
I'm looking at him. That's an ant?
He is a big boy, too.
Yeah, this ant's got a lot extra on him.
Yeah, he's not your typical ant.
This ant makes your everyday ant look like a fucking ant.
Yeah. That's number 24. 23 is cows. 22 is horses. 21 lion. 20 tigers. Number 19, listen to this one. This is the box jellyfish. Each individual one of these box jellyfish have enough venom to kill 60 people per jellyfish.
Okay. In case they need to take down a fucking whale. All right.
In the case they're trying to kill 60 people at once. They have 24 eyes and inject toxins into people's blood, making their fucking heart stop. Most people don't die from their heart stopping. Most people die from going into shock because the pain is so intense.
Oh my God.
Most of these live around Australia, but there are some near Florida and Hawaii.
All we're doing is making my range smaller and smaller.
Yep. Box jellyfish 19. 18 is bees, wasps, and hornets, which are all combined. They kill about 100 people worldwide each year, including 58 alone in the U.S. But most deaths are actually as a result of an allergic reaction.
I was thinking the results were falling off a ladder. Because the bee, wasp, and or hornet comes at you and you start swatting at it, you fall off the ladder.
17 is the Cape buffalo. Listen to his nickname. His or her nickname. Known as the Black Death and the Widowmaker.
Whoa.
The Cape buffalo is notoriously dangerous among hunters in Africa. When wounded, they'll run off and then sometimes circle back to attack the hunter.
That's cool.
They kill about 200 people a year.
If you are a hunter, just leave them alone, man.
Just leave the Cape buffalo alone. It's got Black Death in its name. 16, the deadliest cat on the list, the leopard. They kill hundreds per year, and certain leopards kill more than 100 by themselves in a year. Like tigers, leopards are mostly killing people in India. India is a very bad luck country, I'm learning, in animal death. 15 is the deer. While not aggressive, they kill at least 240 people per year in car accidents.
See, if a deer gets credit for killing someone with a car accident, bees, wasps, and hornets should get credit for a lot of those ladder deaths.
The kudu, have you heard of a kudu? Kudu?
Isn't that like a deer?
Yeah. Well, it's like a deer, and it lives in Africa, and like the deer, its deaths are caused by car accidents.
Right.
13 is elephants, 12 is hippo, 11 is the tapeworm.
I was going to get into parasites next. I thought he would be above 10.
Tapeworms infect and kill about 700 people per year. Their murder weapon is the disease cysticercosis, which they spread through human excrement. Their danger combines with their alien-like grotesqueness in quite the unpleasant way. Their deaths occur worldwide, but mostly in rural areas of developing countries, since it's linked with poor hygiene.
Right. And then number 10, crocodile. Number 9 was scorpion.
Yeah.
7, CC fly. 5 dogs, 3 snake, 2 mosquito. And my next guess is pig.
Pig? No.
Well, I was thinking swine flu, and now I'm going to say bird for bird flu.
No, neither. But there is something kind of like a pig on here.
Ooh, is it a boar?
No. Number 8 is the Asaurus roundworm, which is not like a pig.
What?
I'll tell you why I brought up pig. So this gross little worm is responsible for about 4,500 deaths per year. They cause the disease psoriasis. I can't say it, but
SARS?
I don't know. ASCARIASIS.
Okay.
It's mostly in developing countries with warm and humid climates. Largely a product of bad hygiene, the worms live in the small intestine of unsuspecting people and spread their eggs through human excrement. If this excrement contaminates water or dirt or gets on food because it's used as fertilizer, it just spreads the worms further. People can also get these worms from pigs. So there's your pig relation.
Okay. Roundworm/pig.
So now you just need number 6, 4, and 1.
The rest of them are tiny?
Yes and no.
Yeah, these are kind of... I've gone through all of the animals that I know I wouldn't want to tangle with. Do you think I have a reasonable chance of guessing the remaining 3?
One of them you do. You mentioned not wanting to tangle. Are there animals that you do want to tangle with besides monkeys?
Just dogs. I just want to just hang out with them.
Yeah. So a hint on number 6.
Mm-hmm.
You questioned whether or not mosquitoes kiss each other.
Yeah.
This bug is known for kissing. In fact, I just gave you the name. It's a kissing bug.
The kissing bug? I think I've heard of the name. I don't know anything about what that bug does.
Kissing bug's number 6. It's also known as the assassin bug, which is a much cooler name. The kissing bug causes about 12,000 human deaths per year by wearing a slick black outfit and hiding in your hallway before jumping out with an assassin blade.
He's like Black Widow from the Avengers. It's a tiny Scarlett Johansson.
Karate, yeah. Is that a quote?
Yeah.
This bug kills 12,000 humans per year. It spreads the Chagas, Chagas disease in Latin America through its excrement.
Ew.
Which it puts on... I like the way this is worded. It's excrement, which it puts on people's skin. as if it just sneaks in and like...
It just slaps it on there. Here you go. Have some of that shit in your skin, idiot.
But kissing bugs make it difficult to avoid their excrement because they regularly bite sleeping people right on the face.
Why?
That's how they got their name. Because they get on your face and they bite you on the face. And I don't know why they...
And then shit on your face.
Yeah. Well, they rub their butt as they're traveling up your face to bite you.
They drag their ass like a dog.
So yeah, biggest asshole in the bug kingdom might be the kissing bug.
Okay.
Number 4 you won't get, so I'm just going to tell you.
Just tell me, what's number 4?
Blood flukes.
I've never heard of that.
Which are transmitted via freshwater snails.
How do you spell that?
Blood, and then FLUKES.
Okay.
It's a type of parasitic worm that causes the disease schistosomia. I'm bad at these. Schistosomia. I can't do it.
Well, I'm going to look it up.
Cannot do it.
Blood flukes.
Schistosomasias.
Oh, schistosoma.
There's an SIS on the end. Schistosomiasis or something.
Schistosomasis. We can't say that word. We don't know how to do that.
That's the disease they transmit. These parasitic worms live and grow in freshwater snails and then move to humans when people come in contact with contaminated water. They actually get into humans through the skin instead of open parts like the mouth. That's scary.
Holy fuck.
So in humans, they live in your liver, your blood veins, or your urinary tract. The worms lay eggs inside you, which are then spread through human excrement. A lot of excrement in the top 10. This disease is mostly in Africa, but also in other developing countries. There are treatments for it, but not everyone has access to the treatments. And then in researching this, since they spread through freshwater snails, I came across the most venomous snail, which is the marine cone snail. It has teeth. It uses its teeth to paralyze fish and then eat it. And one of these snails' teeth is sharp enough to go through a wetsuit, so they can be problematic for divers.
Holy shit, they can eat through...
And the sting from their bite can be fatal if you don't get medical attention right away.
Did you hear about this guy that... His name was Sam Ballard. He died 8 years after eating a slug?
No.
He was a rugby player from Sydney. So he was from Australia. When he was 20, he was drinking with some friends, and there was a slug. And some of his friends were like, hey, I dare to eat that slug. So he ate it, and then he contracted a rat lungworm, a parasitic worm that lives in rodents and can be passed onto snails and slugs. The gastropods can then transmit the worm to humans, I guess, if you fucking eat them. The parasite infested in his brain, and it put him into a coma for more than a year, left him paralyzed, and ultimately killed him.
He didn't even know it for like 8 years?
It says he started experiencing severe pain in his legs within days after eating the slug. He asked his mother whether it had been caused by eating the critter, and his mother said that no one gets sick from eating a slug. But his mother was wrong.
That mom should have just transported to the future and listened to this episode of our show. She would have known. Think of how much grief she could have saved herself. Okay, you just need number 1.
Is it man? Like man is the most dangerous animal?
Humans are the most dangerous animal.
I mean, we're dick to we like everything on this list we kill a ton of every year.
Including ourselves. Researchers have found that humans love to murder each other. In fact,
we love it.
There's an average of about 437,000 human murders per year. If you add war deaths to this, the total goes up to around 135,000 deaths in 2017 were from war. Over 1 million people die from road traffic each year, which is, attributed to humans. China and India have the most traffic-related deaths at over 200,000 each, and in the US, it's around 35,000 deaths per year. And this article sums it up best with this quote: "We really are our own worst enemy."
God damn, that's some heavy shit.
Humans are humans' worst enemy.
Well, almost everything bad that's ever been done to me was done to be a human.
And, if you were to include suicide in here, it'd be even higher, because that's a human harming a human.
Lemmings commit suicide.
Those poor damn lemmings. Let's have a moment of silence for the lemmings.
There was a lemmings game. Is that what you're going to say?
No. We're having a moment of silence for the lemmings.
Well, it was short because they're small.
All right, fair enough. Let's go through the top 10. Number 10 was crocodiles, 9 scorpions, 8 Asaurus roundworms, 7 tsetse fly, 6 the kissing bug, 5 Bingo the dog. Your dog sitting next to you while you listen to this. It's going to kill you this year. Blood flukes via freshwater snails.
Don't eat them.
Don't eat them. Snakes, mosquitoes, and then number 1 is humans. We did it!
Yeah. Barely, because some of my next guests were going to be wolf and bear and tiger and horse. All those ones you named that weren't in the top 10.
Yeah. They're in the top 25, but not the top 10.
I never would have guessed a blood fluke via snail. When I heard about kissing bug before, I thought it was probably something cute.
Absolutely not. They like to slap your leg when you're not expecting it with a big pile of their own shit, and then they like to bite your face while you're sleeping.
So stay away from Africa, India,
just
Australia.
Only go to the US and Canada.
And humans.
And just stay away from humans, yeah. Brandon, before we head out, let's read a few iTunes reviews.
Let's do it.
If you rate and review us on iTunes, we will read it on this show. And this one comes from CBrickJW, who said, "Nick and his sidekick, Brandon, have come up with a great concept that makes you laugh, think, and crave peanut butter. I would give it more stars if I could, but I can't, so 5 stars it is." Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm going to move now to another review. This one comes from the Nomcast, who says, "This pod is super fun! ! Love the variety of lists and the knowledge of the hosts! ! That's it. Do you think Nomcast is aware that you and I have no knowledge of anything?
I was going to say, I feel like a fraud. I'm an idiot.
You can run for president of the United States, at least.
And apparently rule with an iron fist.
That's a good idea. And speaking of good ideas, another good idea is you should follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at tennispod. That's 10ishpod. You can also visit us at tennispod.com, and you can email us list ideas at tennispod@gmail.com. Brandon, this has been fun. I'm glad I could educate you with my vast amount of knowledge and wisdom.
I'm glad I could entertain you with the amount of stuff I don't know about animals.
We'll be back next week with the Big 4-0, episode 40. In the meantime,
stay away from blood flukes.
And humans.
And Africa and Australia.
Just re-listen to this episode for a second time and stay away from everything we talked about.
Yep.
Bye.
We'd like to thank Kevin MacLeod for his song Hackbeat, which we found on incompetech.com for the official Tennis Podcast theme.